is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we're doing a no run-through review for Fort, which was a game that I had wished I played last year, because this is a phenomenal game.
It's a 2020 game?
It was a 2020 game, and I remember seeing it, I think it was on Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken, and I was like, like, because this is a game that you see and you're like, okay, that just seems like it's going to be like a kid's game, and it technically is.
It rivals
the
Vita Lasarda, I think.
Yeah, it's right up there in complexity.
You think it's going to be not complicated?
No, it is a absolutely unique theme and a wonderful twist on deck building that I haven't seen before. But it encapsulates what I think a good deck builder is, whereas you get the deck building feel, but by the end of the game, you don't have a mountain. This is, like, your deck isn't, like, monstrous, where you're like, well, I hope I get one of the cards I recruited at all this turn.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'll reshuffle my deck, so I'll get it. Yeah, this was great for me. So, what do you guys think?
Well, as I said before, in general, I don't like deck builders, just because it feels like there's a lot more luck than strategy behind it.
Sure.
This is radically different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more ability to look around, see what people are going on, see what people try to go for. What do I want? What do I want to keep you from having?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do I want to play? What do I want to make sure I keep instead of possibly giving away?
Right.
All of those mechanics play in, but it doesn't have the kind of complexity that stifles the movement.
True. Yeah.
Once I get used to the turn mechanic, after a couple of rounds, you know, it went pretty quickly and it was fun up till the end. I didn't know I was going to do this well.
Right?
Yeah, because I mean, well, Kat, go ahead. What do you think?
Oh, I like it as well. Yeah, I mean, you guys have hit really, pretty spot on with the technical details, and it's just whimsical and a cute theme.
Yeah. So the reason why we're not doing a run-through for the game, because normally these no run-through reviews are filled for shitty games, really, that I don't want to do a run-through for. But mainly because, like, I don't think it would have been... There's not a whole lot of table presence going on. Like, a lot of the stuff is kind of in front of you or in your hand.
Yeah. A lot of thinking, not much talking.
Exactly. So that's really the only reason. But yeah, I completely agree with Brett on this. It's the fact that you have... The only negative is you have to learn the iconography. And that does initially slow it down, but it's not so heavy like a Seven Wonders game or something like that where you're going to be like,
one card explains it all.
Yeah, pretty much. And they actually give you a decent size, and they tell you, okay, what are things, what are all the suits. Everything is on this player aid.
And it's not one-sided, so you have to keep flipping it over and remembering.
Exactly. It's like, oh, God. Because there are games with icons that it's just like, okay, what is that one again? Like, you see it every once in a while, but this time you need it, and you're searching through the rule book.
Or you see, like, one symbol, but it has, like, 8 different variations, and you're like, is it this one? Like,
Exactly, and that's not the case here. Like one quick, like you see one icon, and you're like, oh, okay, I know what this means now, and I will not have to reference it again. The only other thing is like the rulebook is not bad, but it's not like amazing either. Yeah. There's a few times where you're like, okay, so like for example, the one that I was thinking of, which we ended up figuring out, but it was like, okay, the partial rule. Where it's like you have to do at least one of the two things, one of the two actions on your card that is to a full effect, then you can partially do another one. I'm guessing that means for cards like maybe Flipper. Like where it's like if I do the bottom action and trash one card, then I can gain one resource instead of the 2. But if I'm not trashing a card, then I have to be able to gain 2 resources. That's the partial.
Okay.
But the way I was taking it was, well, I have a card that says I can build a fort, then gain 2 points. And I'm like, well, partially I can't build the fort, so I guess I'll just gain the 2 points.
Right.
But later on it says, oh, the then modifier is you have to do the left side in order to get it right, which is correct. That's how every other game in the world typically does it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 100% clear here.
Yeah, the question came up, which means it wasn't obvious.
Yeah.
We had to actually look it up.
Right. My favorite thing, that's it. You guys have any negatives on the game?
Can't think of anything I'd call negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any gripes? Any concerns?
My one gripe was the fact that they would refer to the stuff as resources, and I just wish that they would have called it either
well, that was
resources
me.
or stuff.
Oh, I guess no. You're
No, it
right.
says
It does say
resources,
move
yeah.
a resource from your
Yeah.
stuff to your pack.
So
yeah.
I was getting a little confused.
Yeah.
So I just wish that they would have clarified. Not even just clarified. I wish they would have just called it one thing.
Yeah.
Or stuff is actually some kind of a container
Yeah.
separate from the pack.
Right.
But stuff is general enough that it was a little bit weird
Yeah.
there.
Especially because you just stuff.
It's usually that that idea that they wanted to use terminology thematically, so it's always a roadblock when like you're learning a game and you're
Yeah, yeah.
okay, no, I know these are resources, but it's stuff in this game, and then
Yeah.
and it gets you into the theme as you're playing it.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's usually that initial like, okay, so no, it's not resources, it's stuff. Wait,
Yeah.
no, it is okay.
And the one thing I will call out, very, very, very tiny, but I'm looking to be nitpicky because I can't find much wrong. This whole concept of the lookout,
Yeah.
the way that it's physically drawn out,
Okay.
is there's a weird notch in the board for the first one, but after that they just line up
They
outside.
just kind of lie. Yeah.
It's
And-
uncomfy.
It just feels unnecessary,
Right.
and it really doesn't add anything.
I actually kind of liked it because of that initial. You slide it under there, and then whenever you're adding more, like I don't know, it just doesn't jut out. I don't know. It worked for me.
It's not like I say, it's a tiny nitpick,
Right.
but it just seems like a weird thing because it only has one use, but you're probably going to have more than one thing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My other, it's not, and I'm out of negatives already. Is the fact that this isn't a cutthroat game, but it's kind of a take that game.
Yeah.
Like
A little bit, yeah.
it's what's cool is because the take that what you steal from me is what I gave you to steal from me. Like if I really didn't want you to have a card in my hand, I should have just played it.
Well, but that's part of the turn strategy.
Yeah.
Is I gotta, if I want to make sure I keep this card in the future, I have to play it, or I have to play it along with another card.
Yeah.
In some way.
Exactly.
But that may not be my best move now.
True.
But I really don't want to lose this card, so
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bad move just to make sure
Just
I
so
can make
I
a better
can,
one
I
later.
can keep it. And I did that a few times where I'm like, I don't want you guys to have this, so I'm going to do something else instead. It's like, okay, I don't have to build my fort right now. I can do it the next time, so I'm going to play this and make sure you guys don't keep it.
And there's always the general pile.
The park, yeah.
The park cards, so you don't have to screw somebody over.
Exactly.
But you have the opportunity to say, ooh, that's a really good one for
oh,
you.
yeah.
Which I did a couple of times.
Right, yeah, I think
Didn't
with,
work,
with
you still
Bug,
won.
yeah, it's like with Bug, you stole Bug, and then I was like, there was one in the park, I'm like, I'll be fine, then Cat took it, and I'm like, alright, I guess they don't want to play with me, they don't want to come to my fort.
But you got it back from me because I didn't play it like
I stole hers.
Oh, okay.
And then I stole, what was her name? Pipsy? What was her name? The
Puddin'.
Puddin'. I stole Puddin' from you because she was just available.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is such an interesting mechanism that I really love those kinds of decisions where you're sitting here and you're like, okay, I can do that because I know I need resources. But all these other cards are really good and crap. Because there was one part where I think I played, I don't remember, but I got like 4 points and then I just dropped my whole hand because
Yeah.
none of them were my best friends. So I'm just like, have fun with all those options, guys. It's really good, and it follows another game called Ethnos, which is an area control game where whenever you play like your hand, whenever in some way, then all your cards go to an open pile for people to be like, oh, thank God, I need those cards.
Yeah.
So you have that thought process, but it's never like a, oop, fuck you, this is mine now. It's like it never feels that way.
Right.
Even
and you could
though-
be screwing yourself by doing that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
the game doesn't reward you for being mean or selfish,
Yeah.
but that could just be the way to make a couple extra points. And I don't see anything overpowered. I don't see any runaway combinations that nobody can recover from.
Nope. There were lots of ways to score victory points based off of if you had a full lookout, if you had a full pack. Basically, things that kind of the cards victory points seem to correlate to your fort and how strong your fort was. You were going to get more victory points, I think, and even like there were cards that gave you points for your level of fort. So yeah, like all of that was it just depends on what strategy you're going to go for and how quickly you can do it.
And not a long game either. What was it? About an hour or less?
I think so. Yeah, probably
and
about
that
an
was
hour.
Learning and figuring stuff
Sure.
out and playing a full game.
Right. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. What was I gonna say? The one thing that I wish, and they can easily add like one more or two more expansions, is I like the idea of not everyone being able to get to level 5. Mm-hmm. Like, but that not being like, oh, I got to level 5, I'm automatically gonna win.
Yeah,
you know,
because I didn't win.
Right, and so it's like it's interesting because I would enjoy this. Like, you know what? I'm not going to go for my fort. It would benefit me to do so, but I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to see how well I can win. Yeah. Which might be an indicator, but the game does really have a hard end at victory point 25. Once you hit 25, it's like, okay, that's the end of the game. Yep. Boom. So your scores aren't going to be that radically different from one another. Mm-hmm. The other benefit of this game that I've seen in others, and but I can't remember which ones, is the act of following an action, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. One of the hooks, one of the gateway hooks for Settlers, the original, Catan
mm-hmm.
now, is anybody can benefit on anybody's turn.
Yeah. And
this has that too.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fun twist.
Well, it also it takes away from the downtime. Yep. So when I'm doing something on my turn, you guys are interested because it's like, oh, what's he gonna play? Oh, I can do that too. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you got two resources. Boom, I'm gonna follow you because now on my turn I have the adequate resources I need to play a different card.
Yep.
And there's other games that do. Machikoro does that. Valeria, Kingdoms of Valeria, I think is what it's called, and Space Base. All those games, if they do one thing right, downtime does not exist. Because every time it's your turn, I gain something. Your turn, I might gain something. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy that as well. Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of the made up rules?
Those were cute because it's such a childlike thing to add.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of like, you can't do that because of this, and it's like you just made that up. Like,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's I really,
instead of calling them secret goals or personal goals,
made up rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine was called popularity, which was having point for each lookout.
Yeah.
Or what was yours called?
Secret stash.
Your secret stash. And what was yours? Is this one yours?
Yeah, probably. Mine was just 1 point for each of a particular suit of
cards
that I ended up with, which of course played into my strategy turn by turn. I don't want to lose them, but it's only 1 point, so it's not a huge loss.
Yeah, Play Palace was yours. Score a point for each crown you have. Count everything, including lookout. And these are probably where it's like for the most part, you got to level 4 with your 4. You and I got to level 5, which is only that's actually a 7-point difference, which is actually pretty significant. But you can make up for that with like the made up rule. Like mine has a hard cap. Mine can only be max of 6 points because I can't go any higher because of my fort level.
Yep.
And even then, it's probably not going to be 6. It'll most likely be 5 if you don't get to the last one. Yours doesn't have a max. If your whole deck was all crowns, that could be 10, 15 points if you also built out your lookout that way. So and because of the way that it works, first one to level 1 gets to pick theirs out of a certain number as I throw them around. So you can be like, ooh, I'm going to try and go for that. I love these. I really like...
And they have the replayability because you only see 1 per game.
Exactly.
Although it might be interesting to have a way to have more than 1, or maybe exchange at some time. But now we're speculating on changing the game.
Yeah, let's change it completely.
Then I'd like it better.
What did you guys think about the perks?
I never used mine.
What was yours? Yeah, I guess. Oh, you got to just auto do a fort build up?
Yeah, but I would have had to spend 1 extra resource, and honestly, I was just doing just fine.
Well, what's really cool about that one is the fact that either it's very, very minimal. I don't think there's a dot. Dot has a way to build your fort, and you pay 1 resource less. There was only 1 dot in here. Really? So the private actions, so all the fort actions, build your fort up, is public. Mm-hmm. So, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why that one's really good, because then you can,
I guess there's a way that dot, you could do it twice on a turn, because it's both a public and a private.
Yes.
But you got to have a buttload of resources.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't know if anyone can hold that many resources.
If you were at 4 and you had your full pack, you could have 5 resources. You could have a total of 8. You could have.
I don't know if you could go from 3 to 5, but you could certainly go from like 1 to 3.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
In one
so
move.
Yeah.
I think you can go from 3 to. Yeah, I think you could because you'd have 18 total resources.
It's okay.
You'd have to have a full pack, and then all your stuff
Right.
to go from 3 to 5.
Which that would be.
And actually, not even that because her top is public, but then the bottom one is one less resource. So you could with Dot go from 3 to 5, and then the game that way. But you're planning for that, and you're hoping. But that's the hard part is because you can't. You said no. You'd have to have. You have to get insanely lucky because if you can't do either of these actions, you can't do it. So if you do the top one, well, then there goes your resources that you just spent. And then, yeah, she goes away. So you'd have to have it on the turn that you have all those resources already.
Yep.
And then be like, haha, sandbag. Level 5 fort. So yours was good. Which one did you pick?
You were saying something.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, what was it?
I can't remember now.
Neat.
I picked just having extra space in my overflow backpack of resources.
That you never used.
Never
there's
used.
another. Oh, wait, no, you wouldn't.
And now I had a choice between two, but I did not fully understand how one of them would work.
Right.
Later on, it became clear I really should have picked that one.
Yeah, the copycat. When following, you may discard up to 2 cards using their matching suits.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Potentially.
And mine was Bribe, which went perfect with my made-up rule, which was on your turn, when you use the add a card you look at, you may add cards to your lookout from the park deck, or any yards.
Wow.
Yeah. That one was pretty nasty, but once again, limited.
Uh-huh.
Roughhousing, instead of following a rival's action, and after all rivals have followed or chosen not to, you may trash this card to trash the leader's played card. Oh, yeah. So I really like the perks, and I like the fact that you get them pretty much at the beginning of the game, and that's all you have for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they come up when you go to your first
Yeah.
level.
And if
the
you
perks are up to level 2. Sorry.
Yeah, and if you, for the record, this is the same company that did Root.
Oh, okay.
So Leader Games.
Yeah, I can see some similarity in the artwork.
In the artwork, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really good game. A unique deck builder that isn't like grandiose, but it's solid in its execution. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
You want to mention the card quality?
I do like this. No, I mean the card quality is okay, but I prefer the type of card quality than what is in other games. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's gonna. Oh, there's some humidity in the air, where it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna lay it here, and all right, now it's already like this. You know.
Okay. The card stock is really heavy.
It's thick. Yeah.
Wooden pieces.
Yeah. Right. I wish they were double-sided.
Yeah.
I mean.
But they're clear color.
The print. Yeah. I mean, you don't really need them.
No ambiguity.
Yeah. It's everything. Everything is great about this game. I hope they make an expansion for it. I think that'd be really cool. They do. I think they easily could in terms of different ways to score victory points. Add more made-up rules. Add more perks. Definitely add more kids. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll support the game. I think they could probably make one expansion. I mean, but these are actual game designers, so they're probably blazoned with ideas of more than what I can think of. But I can see at least one more in terms of just giving this game extra variety.
I can see that.
So, all right, on a scale of 1 to 10, Cat.
Oh shit.
You didn't talk the whole thing, so I'm making you.
You talked some.
Yeah.
She was here.
I just dissipate. I'm Ghost.
You're this kid?
I'm Ghost. I don't know where his twin is. I think I still have him. I'm gonna give it a 7.
A 7? Interesting. Is there more than one? There's 2 puddins in here?
There's 2 puddins?
I think there's 2. There might be 2 of every card.
I saw some matches.
You're telling me that there's 2 Sarges?
Giving it a 7?
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Alright. Brett.
It may just be my prejudice against deck builders in general.
Let me give it a 3.
I'm thinking about an 8, actually.
An 8?
Just because it's so much better than any of the other ones I've played.
Awesome.
That's good.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. It hits on all levels where it's not overly thinky. No. Like you're not sitting here like, okay.
I suppose it could be if you wanted to, but the theme and the action just don't lend itself to
exactly
that
like
level of strategy.
It's just, I love games where I don't have to sprawl out this massive game and take 2 hours to explain it for people to just be like, so how do I play a card?
Yeah. And if I play this one, what happens to this one?
Exactly.
Yeah,
like you just sit here with your hand, which would be a horrible hand to have unless you're following. But that's the great thing. It's like this hand, it sucks for me because it's literally I only have one card with one action, but it's great for following others. And that's something I think I mentioned where it's like, man, if you build with just one symbol, your deck is going to be really good.
Yeah.
But when you're following other people's turns, you can't do that unless they happen to also do a wild and be like, shovels. And you're like, yay, that's my whole deck, so I can follow now. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to keep track of, but it's all manageable and digestible. So, yeah. And I love multi-use cards. It's one of my favorite game mechanisms. So, yeah, I am very pleased with how this game is and love it. So I'm going to give it a 9.
How many people can play?
4.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Oh, that was another thing. Is like it worked incredibly well with 3.
You can play 2.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and nothing changes. There's no 2-player variant or anything.
Yeah,
so
scaling's automatic. You just have fewer.
Yep, you just
I was
recruits to
wondering
choose
about
from.
that. Yeah. That's awesome.
And with 3, because of the take that in the game, I don't think there was ever a time. Even if you guys kept taking from me. I willingly gave those cards up, so I'm not sitting there like, really? You're always stealing my people. It's like,
Why is it always mine?
I laid them out there to be stolen. That's something you expect. It's like, well, I chose not to play them.
Yeah. And
And most
some of the
likely,
ones I did.
they'll come back.
You took my ghost. I should have done that differently.
Loved the ghost. That
But yeah,
ghost
it's like-
was great. Yeah.
Because it's like, well, eventually you will not play them. So I can be like, aha, now
Yeah.
they're back to me.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on Fort. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.